brown.
A western brown. He holds a respected spot on the list of the world's most venomous snakes.
We should always treat snakes with respect. And although the western brown is a potentially dangerous creature, if given room to escape, they will always retreat. And grabbing them by the tail is for experts only.
Out here in the desert, it's amazing how prolific the wildlife is, but they have to get away from the heat. And down here in the creek bed, you can get an idea of where the animals escape the heat and live. You can see, have a look at this little hole here, this half moon-shaped hole. That's a scorpion hole. And he's got his back entrance here. So the little scorpion, he digs through this stuff as hard as it seems, and he'll make a horseshoe shape in there, and he'll sit there, and at night, when it cools down, he'll crawl out of that hole, up onto the plains, and hunt for insects. Fascinating. And it's only this creek bed that enables us to see the wildlife that is so prolific living underneath the ground. Okay, let's dig in here and see if we can find this little critter. Become pretty active. Ooh, there he is, there he is. And I'm going to have to be really careful because although they're not deadly, by gee, they pack a wallop. Now there he is. They're an arachnid. You can see they've got those 8 legs. They've got these nippers at the front. So they scurry along at night in this desert. And when they locate their insects, they come in with the nippers. So they'll grab it with the nippers. And once they've grabbed it with the nippers, then this sting comes over the top, whammo, digs it in and paralyses the insect. This little scorpion, he'll grab hold of it, bring it into his head, just in here, and eat it up. Right, you can see that tiny droplet of venom on the end of his stinger. Another species which escapes the heat by burrowing under the ground is the bird-eating spider. These are the largest spiders in Australia, and it's got a close relative which lives in the tropics and rainforest. Now, the bird-eating spider is a very venomous spider with huge fangs and a large venom sac. We'll have to treat them very delicately, as not much is known about the venom. The trick to location of these spiders is to look for holes. Once you've located a hole, to find out if it's got a resident, you just check for tripwires. You can see the tripwires here. Now that alerts the spider, which is 3 feet down underground, to when a bird, a mouse, or a frog comes along, he hits the tripwires, and that alerts the spider, and up he comes. I'll just dig down alongside the hole and try and get to the chamber where the spider lives. What I'll have to do here is put a stick along the hole such that no dirt will cave in on top of the spider, and it also helps me keep the location of where that hole extends. Once you get down to the chamber, you can see the web which aligns it. It's very, very moist, and that allows the spider to keep cool. This is the remnants of the male spider. Now the male spider will go down inside that hole, mate with her. Once finished, she'll turn, kill him and consume him. This is one of the most intricate and delicate parts of the job. Once you get down to her chamber, you have to delicately flick the rubble away, and here she is. These are her front legs. Once you see her front legs come up, that's it. She'll be poised, probably a couple of droplets of venom ready to go. Whammo! It's going to be really difficult to persuade her out of her chamber. So what I have to do is try and coax her out with a stick. Now, once cornered, she's going to be very, very aggressive, her only form of defence. She's going to take a strike at the stick, which we've had to slow down. The fangs are penetrated, and there's the venom exuding from the venom glands. Now that venom is pumped into the prey source. Once it's in that prey, it breaks down the prey inside, and then she'll suck the juice out, which is nutrients for her to live on. She's got a huge set of fangs, larger than most venomous snakes. I'm gonna have to be very careful juggling her into a container. And one thing's for sure, she's got a massive amount of venom, and if I took a hit this far from civilization, we're definitely gonna have a serious problem on our hands. I'm gonna treat this very delicately, because they can quickly turn in their own axis and sink those fangs deep into your finger.
When we get this specimen back to the park, we'll spend a lot of time studying her and reporting our research. Fear snakes are usually concentrated into one area. Now that we've discovered them, odds are we'll find plenty. We've got to get him quick before he heads back down into his burrow.
I catch them by grabbing them by the tail. In this way, no damage is caused to the snake. If you pin them with a stick or a piece of wood, the vertebrae will be stretched or bruised, and you could cause irreparable damage. A damaged snake is no good to me and no good to the environment.
Steve is highly experienced in handling snakes. Under no circumstances should you attempt to handle or even identify any snake.
We have a permit to keep these reptiles back at the park.
Tailing a snake is an extremely dangerous practice to use.
I find it very efficient. I've been using it now for many years, and luckily enough, these snakes are in a very healthy condition. They're quite fat. They've got a belly full of rats, and we're lucky in that it's a little bit cooler this morning, so they're a little bit slower.
Although I've worked with venomous snakes in the past, I've never had to catch the most venomous snake in